Royal Air Force Laarbruch in Germany was a Cold War air station for the British Royal Air Force, opening in 1954, rebuilt from World War II remains. The Royal Air Force operated many types of aircraft from this air station until its closure in 1999. The site is now Weeze Airport, and many areas are sealed off and guarded as a civilian airport. This series of videos were filmed some time ago. Since filming, the German government have sealed these areas off, and they are now used for military and police training. Join ALW Research Team on our journey and experiences as we explore this huge Cold War relic.
Hey viewers, I don't know if you can see, but in the distance there's a NATO aircraft hide. And is this, Dave?
This is the runway for Harriers.
It's a short runway for Harriers,
yeah,
isn't it?
They used to have hides in the woods around here, and this you could have got Harriers. Well, Harriers do vertical take, and this is a turning engine.
That's a turning pan for the Harrier.
Yeah. I mean, when they were fully laden with weapons, they didn't use to take off vertically because it burned so much fuel. And it would decrease the amount of range.
So viewers, I didn't pick it up very well with this camera, but just beyond the trees there's a HAS, which is a hardened aircraft shelter. These were built by the Royal Air Force in the 1970s and 1980s to protect aircraft on the ground from airstrikes above.
The police will not appreciate us jumping the fence. In Central Europe. Well, anywhere really, but this is an aircraft hide. There looks to be a fueling station there.
Yeah. Tell you what though, I think we ought to go in and down the tree line.
Yes, we're very open here. But this is a Cold War Harrier jump jet runway. Turning pan here. This looks like a fueling station to refuel the aircraft.
On top of that pole, that black
Old security light.
Yeah.
That's a refueling thing. Can we get in the tree line, or do you just want to walk down the edge of the tree line?
Walk down the edge for now, until I think that it's a bit too out in the open.
This has clearly had recent car traffic, large lorries.
I think that aircraft, there's another one there, look.
Aircraft pens.
I think that is on the wrong side of the fence.
That aircraft pen there. Yes. That looks like a JBT. Or JBD, Jet Blast Deflector.
A jet blast deflector is used to diffuse the hot gases from aircraft jet engines to prevent fires and damage to objects behind the aircraft.
There's something in the woods there. You just spotted that as well, didn't you? See, there's still the centre line on the runway here. That's too modern.
That's a hide for shooting animals.
Yes.
They do wild boar hunting round here. Wild boar in the woods round here.
You don't want to meet one of them on your own.
No, no.
Quite feisty, aren't they?
Oh yeah.
There's a big bunker there, look. It's on the airport side. That looks like a maintenance pit.
Yep. Certainly does.
There's just pipe work in there.
It will be.
Yeah, I wouldn't open it, not near the tree line. Yeah, so this has been a service duct here. going under there, and then there's another one there. So that's just a service duct, it's not a bunker.
And those are where they hook up the refuelling lines.
Yes, that's pumped fuel in it. Avtar for the Harriers. You can see the centre line of the runway there. A very large mountain there, Dave. There's an aircraft taking off, I can hear it behind us. Coming into land maybe. Yeah, coming into land. You won't see it's behind the trees. Just we're touching down about now. That's the thrust reversers as it's braking using engine power.
Tanker wall, it could have been a munitions store. But this has been cleared recently. And by recently, I don't mean last week.
No. Let's check out our friend Google Maps. We don't have pins for the site, but what we do have is pictures of where the buildings are. Let's just take 5 and do a nav check.
I think this would have been a hide, you know. Judging by the size of this,
Yes.
there would have been a hard stand in here. It's got a wall all the way around, and there would have had a big camo net over the top of it. And they would have either kept service equipment for the aircraft or an aircraft in here.
Yes, agreed. This would have been for either 1 or 2 Harrier GR3s. Now it's Christmas trees.
Christmas trees.
Then this would have been a short Harry track taxiway to the Harrier short runway. They were still using Harrier short runways in Afghanistan up until about 2011 when the Harriers were decommissioned. If you used to be based here at RAF Laarbruch or RAF Gutterslow, please get in touch, leave a comment. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel for more content. It's totally free. One of the aircraft hangars here was deconstructed after the Second World War by the Allies and moved here, and it was the hangar that Stukas were built in. So you would have had Harrier GR3s thundering down this runway and doing a short takeoff. They called it Stovall, short takeoff and vertical landing. This is where they landed. And that could have been a water spray system to cool the concrete before they landed on it. And this is the concrete pan where they landed, because the jet was too hot and it would have just melted the runway. So that was quite possibly a water jet system to spray the ground, get it saturated before they landed on this white apron. Yeah, that aircraft hides on the other side. Might get a decent snap of it though. Yeah, water sprinkler.
Yep.
It's a sprinkler head. And there's no other...
It's got stops on it there, so it would rotate round and then come back, and then rotate round and come back.
So that will only spray this runway.
Only spray that.
And the only reason you'd spray a runway like this is to cool it, to cool the tarmac, to stop the Harrier GR3s from melting the runway. The Harriers were sent back to British Aerospace, and they actually cut the fuselage and extended it, put a larger engine in, and they changed a lot of the components to triple MF, which is material man-made fibre, which we know now as carbon fibre. And the carbon fibre was made the aircraft lighter, and the longer, bigger engine gave them more power. And as you can see here, not all of the runway is tarmac, so the more modern GR7s, GR7As didn't need the full runway. They only went 2/3 of it, and they just used this white pan to land. We've got some cars. There's cars. Should we... Are they just aircraft spotters? Because this looks like an old bunker. It's been demolished. Well, we're not crossing any gates, so we've just walked in. We don't usually make our presence known. Usually stay out of the way. I'll tell you what those are. They're training cars for the fire service. They're dead cars. The German fire service train here. And those are... This is a mock. This is another one of the Harrier runways, and they've used it for training. And they've made that into an autobahn and use that for training. So we'll probably leave those cars alone, because that isn't what we do on this channel. Don't look at old cars. But this is the Flybe, didn't they go bust? Yes. Temporary ones at that. So we've got the tail of, correct me if I'm wrong viewers, but that looks like an ATR 42. Second gate. We'll get a view of the aircraft hide round here. That is one aircraft hide. Should we just walk down here, Dave? We're not interested in those cars, are we?
No.
It's firefighting training. So that'll be what the big... That's what the big lorry tyres are. It's fire engines doing training. And that is one of the aircraft hides. Doesn't look like it's even used anymore. And you can see over there, there's more aircraft hides over there on the far side of the runway. One there.
You can see the control tower over there.
Yes. In the distance. Let's move from this area. doors are open, aren't they?
Yeah. Just looking at that, that's been reinforced a time or two.
Yes. That's to stop rodents, I believe.
With white
There's a vehicle behind us.
rodent with white hooves.
Yes. Vehicles over there. I think we should go deep into the forest now. Sounded like a van. No, I think the police have BMW 3 Series here. We're not far. We'll just give it a minute.
Yeah.
Dave, there's an aircraft on a plinth there.
Yeah.
In there. Oh, yeah. Look, I've got gloves on so I can't zoom it in. But there's an aircraft on the plinth. And about the centre of the screen now.
Right.
And it looks like a lightning.
Oh yeah. Well, they used to have lightnings on false pans around the airfield as decoys. And they were flagged. And one day, one of the lightnings all of a sudden would just sit on 3 flags, one under each wheel, because somebody went and pinched the flagstones for a project they were doing. Might have been to build a patio and a squadron bar somewhere. Well, rumour has it. Oops.
Yeah, right, so I think we go back and film that aircraft hide, and then we'll go through the forest, follow that track through, and then we turn left, and then we'll find the aircraft on a plinth. So these, in basic terms, these hangars these were a blast-proof garage for an aircraft, a bomb-proof garage, and doors and the walls are built as such as to stop any bomb blast affecting the aircraft.
As mentioned, these aircraft hides or hangars are known as hardened aircraft shelters, or HAS.
The high five sign there, so that says high five. So that is a blast wall arrangement. I was joking about the high five thing, by the way. That is the rear, and that is a extract fan there, and then this is the blast exit. I could be wrong, but I believe they started the engines when they were still in the hangar.
Possibly, and that's why there's such a big blast wall arrangement here. Open the back doors and let the rubbish out of the back.
Acted as a jet blast deflector.
So, and there's a little shed with a chimney. And lightning conductors on it.
In that little shed would the crew have been? On QRF, Quick Reaction Force.
Could have been, yeah.
Because I believe they used to sleep in the flight overalls, you know, when they were active, when
yeah.
they were on duty.
Yeah.
eat and sleep in the full flight gear, so it was just...
Well, the Vulcans used to have aircraft on standby with the crew sat in them, ready to go.
Wow.
For the duration of the shift, and then they'd stand down and the next one would come online. Well, the other one would come online first, and then they'd stand down. And they used to spend just many of an hour sat in an aircraft just waiting.
Sat in an aircraft cockpit. Shame they didn't have a GoPro and vlog it, but
Yeah.
I know GoPros didn't exist then. But here we've got a fine example of an armoured aircraft hide, and if you look at the doors, they're actually shaped out, so if any blast came in it would deflect it. It isn't a flat surface for the blast to act against, it diffused it. Now we've got a turning pan and then out onto the runway.
During the 70s when I was stationed here, there were an RC model club, and not this one, but one of the ones on the far side of the airfield there, and we used to race radio controlled glow plug cars on these turning pans. We used to put cones up and make a little circuit and race them. And then there were people who would, when the airbase was not operational, they flew aircraft. It's right over the far side there, you know, so as far away from the runway as you could get, but on, I think it was Sundays. Yeah.
So today then?
Yeah. Well, no, it'll have been disbanded now, but yeah, we used to have some great times racing model cars. Happy days.
Indeed, folk.
And I don't think there's any problem with the area we're in now, because we're walking directly into the car park.
Yes.
So it's not segregated at all
No.
by any security measures. So we're not. Anyway, we shouldn't be.
There, so we've got another mess hut there, or what we believe is a mess hut, and then the aircraft hide. A blast-proof bunker.
With the little flue there, I'm wondering if that was a little standalone boiler room and generator room
For each aircraft.
for each aircraft
Keep-
hide, so that it was independent.
Keep the aircraft at
They could have
optimum
had,
humidity and temperature, ready for going.
An oil-fired boiler,
Yeah.
you know, in there, and then, I mean, they'd be on the station main heating plant. But if that got hit, you know, these would have to be independent, each bunker.
Yes.
Just a guess. If you know better, please let us know.
Yeah, please leave a comment. Like and subscribe. Well, RAF Laarbruch closed at the end of the Cold War, and it became Airport Weeze, or Airport Weeze. What's that, Dave?
It's a square building with lines of brick.
Thanks, Dave.
Right.
There's your old squadron buildings over there.
Yes. So we've just come across the location of the bunker that I was in with 26th Squadron. In fact, all of the RAF Regiment squadrons were directed from here. Should there be a nuclear event.
There it is. You see that, folks? No, we're filming into the sun a bit, but it's there. It's in the trees. You should be able to see the entrance of the concrete blast wall area. And there we are. Royal Air Force 26 Squadron bunker.
Unfortunately, we can't get into it because it's in a forbidden area. The Botan.
Achtung!
Please like, subscribe and share. For updates, check out our social media, links in the description box, and join us next week as we continue our journey through the Cold War history that remains here at Royal Air Force, Laarbruch.
Flight fittings.
Looking over my shoulder, looking back at your door. In my head it goes over.